sacrifices, you know, that those made at the beginning of this conflict, but certainly all of those who have sacrificed and continue to sacrifice as a result of protecting freedom around the globe on behalf of those of us who enjoy those freedoms here in the United States of America. So with that introduction, let me ask Lieutenant Commander to come up. We are proud to be the geographic host and neighbor of Camp Pike, which is home of the U.S. Naval Reserve Center, along with the U.S. Army Reserve Center and Marine Center, and then obviously again Camp Robinson, which holds the Arkansas National Guard headquarters.
On behalf of the Navy, active and reserve, stationed out here at Camp Pike, it's my pleasure to be here and to recognize the Pearl Harbor commemoration. I'm excited about the Hoga, as a side note, and the potential for bringing her here. We follow that carefully. As you can imagine, this is not Little Rock's obviously not a big fleet concentration area like San Diego or Norfolk or something like that, but yet we enjoy tremendous support from local authorities, and even the National Guard has been very kind to us out at Camp Robinson and Camp Pike. So this is a pleasure for me to be in the middle of America in the Navy in a town that is so supportive of the local Navy. And I'm just honored to be here.
Well, it's so great to have all of you out here today for this tremendous event, and it really is a tremendous event. One of my favorite Americans, and I'm sure yours as well, Thomas Jefferson, said 200 years ago that the tree of liberty must be refreshed from time to time with the blood of patriots and tyrants. And thankfully, this generation that we're honoring with this museum, those individuals contributed so much to make the life that all of us in this room have been able to live in such a fantastic way. And I know we've got some veterans here, and thank you so much, because your contribution made this work for all of us. Because you made the tyrants pay a higher price than the patriots in this particular game. You know, all of us as children remember reading the book that talked about the little engine that could. I think the Hoga is the little tug that did. The Hoga played such a vital role in the Battle of Pearl Harbor. Had it not been there, had it not carried out its mission, the Pacific Fleet, or what remained of it, a substantial portion, would have been blocked in Pearl Harbor and would have been less effective for quite a time to come. All of us have seen the picture, I'm sure, of the Nevada as it was on fire and about to sink in the sea channel leading into Pearl Harbor. The Hoga very quickly responded and was able to pull the Nevada out of the mouth of the harbor, blocking the harbor. What a tremendous role that little tug played in the history of World War II. And it's not very well known. So I challenge all of you to let all those folks you talk to know about the significance of the Hoga. We sometimes think, well, it's just a tugboat. But what a tremendous role it played in our history of Pearl Harbor. Another thing that's very significant, I think, is that the Hoga, having been at Pearl Harbor at the beginning of the war for the U.S., and the Razorback, having been in Tokyo Bay at the time the Japanese signed the surrender, what a tremendous set of bookends these two vessels would bring to Central Arkansas. We must be successful in this campaign to get the Hoga here. It means too much. It means too much for us to use as an educational device to our children, our grandchildren, and those that come after us. The biggest tribute we can pay to that special generation that took care of the mission in World War II is to not forget. And this museum, with those two vessels, would be just a tremendous, tremendous asset. So it's certainly my honor to be able to serve in this effort along with General Clark, who couldn't be here today but wanted to be. And we just must be successful in bringing the Hoga to this museum.
You know, I had an uncle on the USS Arizona, and he was a country boy from Woodard County. And he's gone now, but he always said that the only reason that he was alive is that he never was horizontal past 4:30 a.m. in the morning. He was a country boy, so he was on shore with some of his friends playing softball. And he never forgot. He was a true patriot. You know, I'm glad that the Hoga was discussed earlier by the mayor as a warship, because it truly was a warship. It was a tugboat that got caught in war. It reacted. It saved, no telling how many lives that day. And we have an opportunity here in North Little Rock, Arkansas, to bring this lady to her new home. And this 70 for 5, a few weeks ago we met with the mayor and we were talking about, you know, how do we raise money to bring the Hoga, because we've got to get the Hoga from San Francisco, California, through the Panama Canal to New Orleans. And I think the mayor's going to tell you a little bit about that once we get her to New Orleans. But we've got a great committee, and we've started raising funds. And what we're looking for is 70 individuals or companies who would be willing to donate $5,000. And that's $350,000, and that would get us well on our way, Mayor, would it not, to being able to you know, when you have a ship the size of the Hoga, first it's got to be loaded onto a barge, which is quite expensive. Then it's got to come through the Panama Canal, which is also expensive. And then you have fuel and crew and so on. So it's a major investment. Just imagine, though, what we'll have when we get that warship here. I mean, like I say, Colonel said we have bookends at the start of the war, at the end of the war. You know, just imagine what that's going to mean to our children and grandchildren when they can see that kind of history sitting right here on the Arkansas River in North Little Rock, Arkansas. So we have a committee and we're working hard. We have a website that you can go to, and it's savethehoga.com. And that tells you a little bit about the Hoga, and we have a link to PayPal. So, you know, we'll take $25, $5,000, or $25,000, whatever you feel you can afford. But we do have a plan, and we're going to contact a lot of the veterans in this state and their families. And I think the mayor's got some good news about some people he's already talked to. So with that, Mayor, I turn it back over to you. But it is a great cause, and I think we'll be successful. Yes, sir.
I wanted to make a progress report. We're going to keep this short, and Wayne is a tremendous advocate for a variety of things, and certainly an asset to Central Arkansas. And we appreciate his service and his company's service in helping us with this effort, and certainly this day. But you made a mistake, Wayne.
I did. Yeah,
you said 70 for 5. Actually, it's sort of 50 for 5 because we've already got 20.
All right.
So we have